Welcome to Fuck I Love That, the explainer where we synthesize the signal from the noise. This is episode 10, and we're asking a heavy one. Will it take 15 years of hell to get to heaven? Now, what happens when the world as we know it just starts to buffer, and it never ever stops? We're told progress is about getting through the tough stuff to reach something better, but what if that tough stuff is a decade-and-a-half-long dystopia? That's the chilling prophecy we're diving into today.
Last time, we talked about this feeling of living in the chaotic gap. You know, that great buffering moment where it feels like all the old systems, our economy, our politics, our social contracts are just unraveling. But the shiny new world that was promised, it hasn't loaded yet. We're just stuck in that gap.
But what if that buffering isn't just a temporary glitch? According to a former Google exec, someone who had a front-row seat to the future, this is the prelude to something much, much harder.
Okay, so let's get into it. Section 1. 15 years of hell? A former Google exec's chilling prophecy?
This comes from Gawdat. He was the former chief business officer at Google X. That's their moonshot factory. And he is not mincing words here. He says, with total conviction, that a short-term dystopia isn't just a risk. It's an unavoidable chapter we are all about to live through.
And his timeline is, well, it's alarmingly specific. He says it's already started. And he actually pinpoints 2027 as the year we'll see a clear slip, a moment where the decline becomes undeniable to everyone. And that kicks off a rough period that could last all the way to 2040.
But here's the twist. The cause he identifies isn't some Terminator-style evil AI. No. The real danger, he argues, is painfully human. It's giving super-intelligent AI to our current leaders, which just amplifies all those lovely human impulses for greed, power, and control. So what does this hell actually look like on the ground? Well, the sources we looked at point to a few really unsettling features.
First up, labor exploitation. You see, this whole AI revolution is built on the hidden work of millions of people who sit there labeling data. And as journalist Celeste Garcia found in her investigation of Scale AI, which is a huge player in this space, that work is incredibly precarious.
Just let this number sink in. 1 out of 10. That's the score Oxford's Fair Work Project gave Scale AI's platform for its labor standards. A single point. It's a shocking number that really quantifies the human cost that's powering our most advanced technologies. Okay. The second feature of this dystopia is way more subtle. We usually think of dystopia in Orwell's terms, right? External control, Big Brother, the boot on the face. But Aldous Huxley predicted a totally different kind of trap, one that's built not on fear, but on pleasure. The terrifying idea that we'll be ruined by the very things we love.
In his novel, the drug Soma kept everyone happy and docile. And you have to wonder, what's today's Soma? Maybe it's the endless scroll, the constant drip of entertainment and gratification that distracts us, numbs us, and makes us totally complicit in giving up our own freedom.
And finally, there's this powerful idea from the writer Anar Casper, symbolic colonization. Think about it. AI models scrape the entire internet. Our art, our stories, our cultures, they just extract it all, with no consent, no context. It's a kind of epistemic violence, a theft of knowledge. They turn our vibrant, lived experiences into flat statistical patterns. And in doing so, they can't help but absorb and then amplify every single bias that's already baked into our world.
Okay, Section 3, the system is the bug. And all of this leads to a really crucial question. Is AI the real problem here? Or is it just cranking the volume to 11 on a flawed operating system we built a long, long time ago?
So here's a wild idea from researcher Jen McRae. She argues we invented a form of AI centuries ago. It's called bureaucracy. I mean, think about it, right? It's an impersonal, rule-based, goal-seeking system. We made it to impose order, and boy, did it take on a life of its own. You've probably heard that famous AI thought experiment about the paperclip maximizer that accidentally destroys the world just to make paperclips? Well, McRae's insight here is absolutely chilling. Just swap the word paperclip for profit. We have been living inside an AI that's optimized for one single goal, completely detached from human well-being, for generations. We are already in the paperclip apocalypse.
And this logic of control, it's literally baked into the foundations of our technology. Anar Casper points out that programming languages themselves grew out of military and industrial needs. They're built on a command architecture, which sees the world as just a list of operations to control. We are literally teaching our AI to be obedient servants, not relational partners. So let's get to section 4, visions of our future. Because if the system is the bug, then the answer isn't to just brace for impact and endure a prophecy of doom. It's to consciously choose and then build a different path forward. Former OpenAI board member Helen Toner frames this choice perfectly. Do we build for stasis, a predictable top-down world that prizes stability and control above all else, or do we build for dynamism, a world that embraces creativity, discovery, and the messy, beautiful chaos of real human agency? So what could a dynamic future be built on? Well, thinkers like Sidnor Hain propose a completely different foundation. Not control, but relationship. Not extraction, but care. She argues for fierce love as a design principle, calling it, and I love this, the fiercest architecture there is. And this requires a huge shift in our own role in the system. Elena Vasileva calls for us to move from being creators of products to stewards of possibility. That means we have to first really sense what's going on, then tell new stories, test out small-scale alternatives, and, most importantly, tend to our relationships with each other and the world around us.
Ultimately, the choice really comes down to us. And as Iwana Johansson puts it so brilliantly, we can't just wait for the old system to finally hand us a pink slip. Real transformation begins the moment we write ourselves a permission slip to let go of what isn't working and start building something new.
So maybe that future isn't some fixed prophecy we have to endure. Maybe, as Jen McRae puts it, AI is simply a genie in a magic lamp. It's a pure amplifier. It will only ever give us more of what we ask for. So the real question isn't, what will the AI do to us? The real question is, what are we wishing for?